2 additional sections to remove. When placing a peeling cut, one may alter the peeling cut according to need. When placing the cursor close to any one of the peeling cut edges, the edge will turn purple. When clicking the mouse button, you may select the edge and drag the peeling cut to any desired location. You may also lower a peeling cut in the Z-axis. To delete a peeling cut, select it and click the Delete button. Peeling cuts should be placed as the last feature when preparing the model. The model should first be rotated, moved, scaled, and so forth before placing the peeling cuts. Place the minimum amount of peeling cuts required to get the maximum peeling effect. Too many peeling cuts will take additional time for the model to be built and are not always necessary. We will now see a few peeling cuts examples. If you wish to place an additional part on the work table, select the File and then Add Model option and import the additional part you wish to work on. In any view you find helpful, position the parts using the Move Model feature. Drag the part to the desired location. Parts should be no closer than 5 mm between one another, so the support material between the parts can be later removed. As you can see at this stage, this part is selected and is yellow, and this part is not selected and therefore is blue. In order to select this part, we will click on the Control button and click on the graphic area of the part. If we click outside of the graphic area of both parts will be unselected and will turn blue. When dragging the cursor above the parts, both parts will be selected again. After positioning the parts, you may apply the peeling cuts. Make sure that parts are positioned as front and center as possible, so the material used by the SD300 printer will only be the material required to build the parts and no material will be wasted. First, let's view the model geometry before placing our peeling cuts. The first model is a closed rectangular box with a wall and a post. The second model is a rectangular box which has openings on the X and Y axes. These two examples will show us how to place peeling cuts in order to peel around features in the most effective way. First, let's look at the first model selected. Using the top view, we will place peeling cuts through the center of the wall and one from the wall to the center going through the post. You may now see the peeling cuts we placed, dividing the inner area of the part into 3 sections: 1, 2, and 3. In this way, we can peel each section without overrunning any one of the features. When peeling this section, for example, this area will provide a support structure for this post. The second part has openings on the X or Y axis. Openings on the X and Y axes should always be sealed to prevent excess material forming around the outside of the geometry. Excess material will always find its way into the inner parts of the geometry through these openings. Pulling the support material from the outer side of the geometry while it is still connected to the support material in the inner part may require the use of force that could damage a fragile model. In order to divide the areas into the outer part of the geometry and the inner part of the geometry, we will use the peeling cuts to close all openings on the X or Y axis. Again, we will select the top view. We know one opening is just above this area, and the other two openings are just above these areas. We start our peeling cut anywhere along the beginning of the wall and drag it to the other side. We will do the same on the other edge. We can now see that our openings in the X or Y axis are shut. When removing the support material in this part, you may remove support material from the inside of the part and then remove it from the outside of the part due to the peeling cut that now creates a cut in every opening. Of course, a peeling cut going through any model geometry will not cut or damage the model geometry itself, but will only cut a plane in the areas that are surrounding the part geometry. Finally, we may add a peeling cut at the center of the geometry in order to divide the model block into two sections. Create a starting point for the model to be peeled. Now, when we look through the part, we can see that this group of layers can be peeled around the first part back and forth with the help of the Z-fold. You may fold this part back and forth, starting from this peeling cut. Then, once we have removed the residue material surrounding both parts, we may proceed removing residue material within the model itself. In cases like this, it is also recommended to add a peeling cut somewhere in the middle in order to remove the residue material from the inside, also in two sections. Finally, you may select the Build Model option and select the desired printer from your network. After you have selected the printer, click on the Build button and the build process will start automatically. When viewing the first model geometry, we see an open box with a wall inside and a post. If we attempt to peel and empty the support material without placing peeling cuts, we will run over both the post and the wall and may damage them. Peeling cuts can divide the wall and the post into areas that will be very easy to peel. We will now proceed to see another example. When viewing the model geometry in this part, we will see that we have a wall going through the center of the part and two smaller walls coming out of the base of the part. Both smaller walls have openings in the X and Y axes. In order to remove support material around this part in the most effective way, we will place the following peeling cuts. Using the top view again, we will select the Peeling Cuts tool and run a peeling cut through the center of the main wall. Using the Shift option, we will snap it vertically and snap it to the bounding box. You can now see that we have divided the support material around our geometry into two areas, the first area and the second area. Now we will place peeling cuts through the center of both smaller walls. Again, we will snap the peeling cut horizontally until we reach the first peeling cut.